We're living in a world where we've become so accustomed to degraded air, polluted water and vanishing wildlife that we don't even realise how much we've lost. It's like the boiling frog analogy. We're so used to the temperature slowly rising that it is beyond our comprehension that humanity is already beginning our descent into irreversible mass extinction. Why our perception of the world is actually killing us. Shifting baseline syndrome and climate breakdown. Today I'm going to be talking about shifting baseline syndrome and why it's killing us. Look, each generation's idea of what's normal is based on their own experience or our own experience. So as the environment degrades over time, our expectations gradually shift downwards. We're like a bunch of goldfish in a dirty tank, thinking it's normal because we've never known any different. But we're not goldfish, we're human beings, the most intelligent species on Earth, and we have the power to change our environment, not in the destructive way that we have been doing since the start of the Industrial Revolution, when we didn't know any better, but actually now for the better. We just need to snap out of our ecological amnesia and realise what we've lost, what we still have to lose, and what we have to gain. But before we go there, if you care about this stuff, why not subscribe to my channel, and why not take out your love gun, cock the trigger, and shoot the like button. Anyway, let's get on with it. Shifting baseline syndrome is a phenomenon that affects how we perceive the environment around us. It occurs when each generation's perception of what constitutes a healthy or normal environment is based on their own personal experience rather than an historical baseline. As a result, we are currently existing like the proverbial frogs in a pan of water, slowly and for most of us currently pleasantly even heating on the stove, making it difficult for us to recognise just how severe the problem facing our planet or pot of water truly is. The implications of this phenomenon for climate breakdown are huge. Our perceptions of what constitutes a healthy environment are often heavily influenced by our childhood experiences. If we grew up in an environment where the air was always smoggy or the water was always polluted, we may come to view those conditions as normal or just the way things are. Similarly, if our children or grandchildren never get to see a pristine forest or a healthy coral reef, they may have difficulty understanding just how much damage has been done to these ecosystems over time. We need to start reminding ourselves of what the world used to look like. Remember when you could drink from a stream without getting sick, or even swim in the sea without worrying about God knows what? When you could see the stars at night because the air was clear, when you could walk through the forest and hear the sound of birds, bees and the bustling in the hedgerow, whereas now you are more likely to hear a chainsaw than the sprinkling of the May Queen. Some of us can still do these things, and this again is another layer of denial. If I can see the stars, surely everyone can see the stars. If I can walk through my local woods, everyone can surely walk through their local woods. If I have enough to eat and clean water to drink, surely everyone has food and water. Wake up! Watch the news! The signs of climate breakdown are everywhere, yet we continue to live like there is no tomorrow, and very soon there won't be. This isn't an easy problem to solve. The human psyche that has allowed us through evolution to cope with a changing world for millennia is not designed to cope with the alarming speed of man-made destruction of the planet over the past 200 years. It's going to take strong leadership and listening to scientists rather than self-interested corporations. But whatever we do, we are going to have to rethink the way we live our lives, from the way we get around to the way we eat. But the alternative is a world where the temperature keeps rising, the oceans keep acidifying, and the only animals left are the ones we keep in the zoos. We need to create areas where nature can thrive so we have a reference point for what a healthy environment looks like. That means protecting forests, oceans, and all the creatures that live there. It means standing up to the corporations and the politicians they seem to have in their pockets who seem happy to destroy everything for personal gain or profit. We need to snap out of our ecological amnesia and start fighting for the world we want to live in. Let's start demanding a healthy environment, not just for ourselves, but for all the generations that come after us. Because if we don't, we're all going to end up like those boiling frogs, cooked and done for. But what if we can't fight for the world we want to live in? What if protesting to protect our environment is no longer a right? Unfortunately, this is not just a hypothetical scenario. In the UK and many other places around the world, this is already the reality. Governments are passing laws to restrict the right to protest and penalising those who stand up for what they and all of us should believe in. These laws are deeply concerning. How can we hope to create a better world if we're not even allowed to speak out against the destruction of our current one? How can we make progress if our voices are silenced? Shifting baseline syndrome is not just an ecological problem, it's a human one. Our perception of the world around us is not only based on our individual experiences, but also on the culture and society we live in. The capitalist system in which we live that is passing laws restricting our right to protest has normalised the exploitation and destruction of natural resources for profit, making it difficult for individuals to separate what is normal from what is natural. We need to remember that the right to protest is not just a privilege, it's a fundamental human right. It's enshrined in the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, and it's a cornerstone of any functioning democracy. So do say, we need to stop the water boiling. Don't say, ribbit, ribbit, ribbit. But what do you say? Let me know in the comments below. And if you have not already done so, why not subscribe to my channel? And don't forget to get out your love gun, cock the trigger, and shoot the like button. You can also share this video across any of these social media platforms. Doing one or any of these things really does help me comply favourably with YouTube's algorithms, which allows me to reach more people with this important message. And if you've enjoyed this video, just found it useful or weirdly compelling, you might like this one, or indeed this one. And it's whispered that soon, if we all call the tune, then the piper will lead us to reason. And a new day will dawn for those who stand long, and the forest will echo with laughter.